I'll tell you what was super exciting. When we went public, we made over 100 millionaires that wouldn't have been millionaires, that were employees. And then when we sold, we made another 100 million. So we went public for just under $1 billion valuation. And then we sold for 2.3 billion.
What do you think the best question you were ever asked was?
All those seats right there.
Because you probably got asked hundreds and thousands.
I did.
All the way down. Those are the seats.
I have to think about it.
What about anything that you always wish that someone would ask you?
Well, what people didn't always appreciate, when they did, I appreciated that people talk about culture, and it's I would argue most of the time an afterthought. Some HR person's thinking about it I'm going to, run a fun Friday, wear a costume, wear your favorite jersey, some health program or whatever. Culture is everything. Culture is when you're all aligned, they can't beat you because you didn't have to go educate. You didn't have to go, let me go train you. Let me go tell you how to respond. When everybody's aligned and we're all in it together, like people would attack us and they'd be like, oh, hell no, lock arms. I didn't have to go tell them what to do. They knew.
How'd you build a culture like that?
So it's going to sound elegantly simple. You don't need posters with acronyms that have 5 things that they charge and C means something, whatever. It's simple. I had one saying for the whole 12 years I ran LifeLock. Do what you should, not what you can. If I catch you trying to do what you can, get away with something, peers, our customers, our vendors, I don't care. If you get away with something, if I ever went to our call center and heard someone say, well, that's not our responsibility, check. Paragraph 14, subsection B, you're fired on the spot. You treat people like they're a loved one. That's right.
Yeah.
Would you answer your mom that way? Would you tell her, go to paragraph 14, subsection B? That's not your job?
Yeah.
No, hell no. So once everybody knew, and I would recognize people who made mistakes, right? But I would, in a positive way. We had a guy there was an older couple in Vegas, we were new. Like, how do we know you're real? And he's like, well, I don't know, what else do you want to know? You have an office in Phoenix. Yeah, our headquarters here. Okay, what if we fly there tomorrow? It's like, okay, tell me your flight number, I'll come pick you up. So they got on a Southwest flight, flew to Phoenix. My guy picked them up, toured them around. They gave us a check. It was $10 a month is how much the subscription was, okay? So they gave us $120 check or whatever each, $240. The problem was we didn't take checks, so I couldn't even cash it.
Yeah.
Okay? And he spent a day to collect $240 for a year of revenue. I totally recognize. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, we'll never make money on this client. And I love what you did.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, right? And so when everybody saw, like, oh my God, he got recognized for
You're doing the right thing.
And like, that sounds crazy. Like you just decided to go pick them up and not answer phone calls and not and tour them around. I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, that gives me chills just thinking about it.
Right?
Yeah.
So
because the general manager, they would fire you.
Right.
But that's the exact thing that you want.
100%. And I used to tell everybody, I will never come to anyone and say, you got to cut your talk time by 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Ever. I said, now, we do QA, we listen to recordings. I said, but if they want to talk for 10 minutes, talk to them for 10 minutes. If they're lonely, empathize. Hear why they never wanted to throw away Aunt Sadie's boxes of stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, fine. Take your time. But if they want to be done in 20 seconds, you frickin' find a way to be done in 20 seconds. Right? So the only reason we listen was, are you serving them the way you want? Do you know how to, if they say, how does this work? Do you know it accurately? But I never, ever got on to people or had a general rule about what talk time should be, ever.
Yeah.
Because just do it right.
And that's so funny, because I know a guy who runs a company that it's pretty, well, not a similar company, but a concept similar.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in one of his meetings. He was so strict with talk time, and I didn't know why it was a thing. I was assuming because you want if maybe the customer don't close.
Well, but think about what they're doing. What he's decided is, I invest this much money, I'm not willing to spend more because I don't get enough return.
Yeah.
You're measuring the wrong thing.
Yeah.
right? Because if you couldn't sell in the time you needed, your value prop's not right. It's not your talk time people, right? Because by the way, when you do that, they start cutting corners and people aren't as educated, they're gonna have a bad experience. Our people could cancel anytime they wanted, and I mean, we lost 5% of our customer years because they passed away because they were older.
Yeah.
We only lost like 3 or 4% of our entire customer base the rest of the time.
Wow.
Our average customer tenure was almost 10 years when I left, and
God.
And I was only there 12. Just to give you an idea.
Jeez, I've never heard of a company with that high of a customer retention.
It's ridiculous.
So it's the product that needs better for everybody.
Correct. And then once the product's great, and by the way, I told everybody, you can leave anytime.
Yeah.
You weren't locked in. I'll give you a pro-rate refund.
Yeah.
You don't like it? Leave us.
Yeah. Right now I'm in a situation where pretty much I have unlimited demand for my service, but how do I scale that? Because right now it's just me. I was up to 17 employees at once, but the results were starting to be lackluster, and I said I need to re-scratch this and just
raise your rate dramatically immediately. Cut out the riffraff. Go be the premier service, and then it is a commitment to the people you bring on. They got to understand we are the standard.
Yeah.
We do not accept any substandard work ever, and be fanatical about it, right?
Yeah, because that's the way I am. If it's not the best result, then I work for free 100% of the time.
Absolutely. So I would tell every single person that
Hang right.
This is really straightforward. It isn't what the margin is on this deal. It's the quality of the work you do.
Yeah.
I'll worry about the pricing as the leader.
Yeah.
I'll make sure we have enough margin if you do great work.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? But if they're worried about timing or finishing a certain, or I can only be here for so long or whatever, because they're worried about expenses, you're going to lose quality.
Yeah.
So just, I'll give you one more tidbit. Understand in your business, there's all kinds of goals. You should measure stuff, return on investment and, these kind of things. But there's a define for yourself and your company, what are the decisive points? That's different than a goal. So a decisive point, if I miss it, it's catastrophic to the mission.
Yeah.
If I hit it, I'm exponentially faster to the mission.
What was that for you?
So we had to get scale fast because I knew I was going to pick a fight with the credit bureaus who were, the smallest one was doing $2 billion a year. And we were this little $20 million company. They could kill us.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to get scale. So we had a thing where I aligned all my employees. We called it March to 1 million. We're going to get to 1 million subscribers as fucking fast as possible.
How long did it take?
Just over a year. Year and a half.
From when you guys started? Dude.
We were one of the fastest growing subscription
incredible. And then the retention rate was
stupid.
Fuck, congratulations.
So when I sold, we had 4.7 million active subscribers.
What do you got? What is it now? Do you
I don't even know. I don't follow it really. I mean, once I kind of left and retired.
You just stopped caring.
Yeah. I mean, I care, but it's hard to watch when your baby grows up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like sending them off to college.
Yeah, and they start sleeping with other people.
I don't want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
You're talking to liberal professors. Don't tell me. Don't tell me about how you're becoming liberal.
Yeah.
So, what's up, boys?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had the decisive point was scale as fast as possible. So you're super inefficient, right? People would come into my office and be like, hey, this is not optimized, and I'm gonna work to optimize this. And I literally called a meeting to my executive leadership and I said, okay, listen, I do not want to hear the word optimize again for a year. If you come in and tell me about optimizing, you're fired. So we are not about optimize right now. I don't care if you duct tape it, bubble gum. I do not care. You grow as fast as possible.
Let me get a photo of Josh.
Period. Right? And then, once we get over 1 million, we'll start optimizing.
Yeah. Just easy because you hear that these are the rules for business, and When you have such a great product, you don't have to listen to it as much.
At all.
Yeah.
In fact,
Did you hear it?
In fact, I question all of them.
Well, first of all, you gotta look at who's actually talking about this.
Yeah, it's the TikTokers.
Fucking dumbasses. They don't fucking know.
right.
Like it's like professors
That's
or
right.
fucking guys.
I read this in a book the other day.
The people don't even know. They don't even know.
Yeah.
But they're the ones establishing the rules.
Yeah.
TD, there are no rules.
Amen, brother. There ain't none. The rule is.
There are no rules, Josh.
Literally, the rule is hit your decisive points. That's period.
Focus on one thing. I was telling them about how you focus on
Oh
the
yeah, decisive points.
decisive point.
That's it. I measure all the other stuff. Don't get me wrong. They matter, and I have people who are responsible for them. But I don't spend, as a leader, I try to spend about 70% of my time on decisive.
Tell them that philosophy of, do what you should.
Oh yeah, I get into that.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
It's such good stuff, and it makes so much sense as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So I gave you an idea too, Joshi. So I gave every single employee my cell phone number. So I had 700 something employees.
So they can call you or text you.
Yep. And I said, so here's how it works. If I tell you the value system is do what you should, not what you can, and you see something in this organization that you're like, that's not doing what we should. I do expect you to honor the chain of command. So you don't come straight to me, because I got a job too, but go to your direct work. But until you get an answer you can live with, keep going. You cannot get in trouble. Okay. You can't get in trouble for coming to me.
Yeah.
I will make sure you can. Some people call me and say, hey, why is this? Okay, let's talk about it. No, I just told them sometimes maybe we won't agree
Yeah.
on what the right, doing what we should is, but we're still going to get to it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to tell you why I believe it is. And then you can decide if that works for you.
Yeah.
But then I'd also have people, because I deem these people my friends and family, right? We'd have somebody who call center, let's say for the second time, didn't call, they weren't going to show up for work. And by the way, they could have been there for years. And I knew tons. I used to go walk through and try to make, appropriately, but physical contact. I'd walk by and be like, hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. And
Yeah.
I'd just jump on the phone call. Hey, can I talk to him? And just put on the headset. And they'd be like, you're who? I'm Todd Davis, CEO of LifeOne. So they'd call me and they'd be like, let's say someone had to fire you, Josh, right? You call me and you're like, Todd, it's Josh. Oh, yeah, what's up, Josh? Now, by the way, they gave me a heads up. I'm not, like, my HR would be like, hey, I just want to give you a heads up. You love Josh. He's been here a long time. We had to let him go today.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened? The second time, you didn't call. You didn't show up for work. So, okay. So they call me. You'd say, Todd, they fired me today.
To the west side warehouse.
Jo-
You guys
what?
can see.
Are you kidding me right now?
It's a quick
Why?
loop, and then we'll drive
Well, I mean, this morning went out, my battery was dead, or a tough flat tire, or whatever. And, oh, God, Josh. But you called, right?
Oh, you missed the battery.
Well, I mean, no, I didn't get a chance to call.
Poor Jordy.
Josh, do you know me? Yeah, we're friends. Yeah. You think I'm okay with that? But you didn't call. I'd be like, no, probably not. I'd be like, yeah. So I fully support
Wow.
making the change. So just because we were do what you should, not what you can, we weren't soft.
Yeah.
We were, in fact, almost, maybe sometimes harder. The other one was we do survey of all of our people. We had incredible engagement with our employees. It was awesome. But one of them, one time they were like, we need better collaboration. We're really growing fast and lots of stuff's happening. We need to communicate better, more collaboration. Okay. Then we're going to move to an open floor plan, which was, remember when my dad came back?
Yeah,
That was
top of that building.
Yeah, and we were, I wouldn't say, we were cutting edge for Arizona, not for Silicon Valley and stuff. They were all doing it, but it was pretty, like I went from literally a corner office, big old glass corner office, to the middle of a floor, just on one of our floors. Not even our highest floor.
Was that a good idea?
Brilliant, but we had people. So I used to, Josh, every Thursday, every single week, I did what was called the Thursday Huddle, which was a company-wide meeting, part of it was structured. Here's some updates. Here's what's happening in the business. And I would be up front, my president, and different people might come in and present on different topics. But at the end of every single one, we allowed you to either anonymously type in a question, or you could submit other ways if you want to be known or whatever, but you could ask anything. And I used to tell them, we're not gonna, if you misspell shit, if you put cuss words, I don't care, we're putting it up the way you present the question. And so I'd field these questions. Well, we're moving to an open floor plan, and they said, I kept getting 2 weeks in a row. But I'm a little concerned. I have to have some private conversations, and so maybe I can't. I may need more of a closed space.
Yeah.
And so by about the second time, I said, all right. So listen, you guys. I'm hearing a few of these questions. I'm going to explain something to you. You guys gave us the feedback. You wanted better collaboration. It is scientifically proven that open floor plans create greater collaboration, greater communication. So we're doing this. I've seen the studies. We're making this investment. But the joke was always, so this train is going north. If you think the train ought to be going east, south, or west, get off the fucking train. I'm not upset with you.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at you. I love you for helping us do what we did. But we are moving to this. Train's going north. If you do not believe in north, get off this train. I will be a reference for you. I will help you find employment. But this is the last time I want to hear about this, because we're going north. And so we used to, every once in a while I'd have to get that, and we'd call it the train's going north speech. Because I'll listen to anything, but after a while, every once in a while, you got to just say, hey, gang, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Get over it. Can't please everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure that you had to have some really tough conversations. And that was something that was really hard for me, is you'd hire someone that was too personal. And then if they're messing up, it's my fault for hiring them in the first place, but it's also my responsibility to talk to them and say, hey, this is the expectation, and here's the reality of what's going on. How do you deal with that?
This way, I fired she was my wife then, certainly contributed to her becoming my ex-wife. I fired my own wife. I fired my nanny, my nanny's mom. I fired my cousin. I fired my best friend at some point. Here's why. When you first get started, no one knows you.
Yeah.
It's a startup. The only people who come work for you are friends and family. He's in there. So, sorry, the old man had to go to the portalette. Yeah, we'll be back. So when all that was going down, when I had to fire different people, once we outgrew them. Now I will say, and I lost sleepover. Don't get me wrong; it's always hard. I don't care what. The biggest I found way to get through that for everybody's sake. Number one, I never surprised you. So I would sit them down 30, 60 days, depending on what their job was and what the problem was, and say, okay, look, this ain't working. You got 60 days to solve for X. What do you need from me to be more successful? Okay? But we're going to meet in 60 days, and we're either going to be raising a drink to celebrate your success, or I need you to understand I got to make a change.
That is brilliant. That's brilliant.
Right? And so they knew before they ever showed up what that meeting was going to be. I had a couple who still want to be like, no, but it's not me and it's not my fault or something else, and you just can't.
That's so tough because you know them personally, you have this relationship, and I've had that. It's so tough for me. I honestly, I think it was my hiring decisions that were honestly the problem. Or do you just think you should give those people a chance? But then it's very hard to come back from that.
Yeah, but I would give them a chance. I mean, like I said, there are certain times you can't hire the person talented enough because you're not successful enough.
Yeah.
I don't mind giving them a chance, but I'm super clear on what's required.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the other one is great. So then, though, when I had to fire my best friend at the time, I then brought him into my office. I said, now listen, it's been 6 days. This ain't working. I got to make the change. And he was pretty upset. I said, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to cuss me out. Rip me a new one. Let me have it, both guns ablazing, right? Both barrels. Because I need you to be able to go home to your wife, who I love, and I want you to tell her, I told that son of a bitch off. I told him he wasn't the same guy that started this business, that he had changed, and that the culture wasn't the same. And I ripped Todd. I told that motherfucker what an asshole he is. And I want you to be able to honestly tell her, you ripped me a new one. And I'm fine. Go. Rip me. I said, because listen, I love you. We couldn't be here without you. I'm sorry we outgrew you, but I owe it to every other employee to do my job. So I'm going to do it, as painful as it is. And if you are ever ready to rekindle our friendship, I'm in. I love you. I hope you can, overcome this. But go ahead. And I'd let him rip me a new one.
Did he?
Yeah. I don't know. I just sat there. I didn't defend it. I didn't get upset. I just, okay. And then at the end, I was like, okay, have you said everything you want to say? All right, let me help you carry your stuff. And I literally walked him with his box, like you see, to his car. Like, okay. By the way, he now manages my kids' trust. We're still great friends.
Yeah.
We recovered.
Yeah. That's... I think my problem is I wasn't first explicitly clear as to what the expectations were, and not tracking it, not having metrics. That's one of the big things I've learned from Kenny so far, is having defined metrics that you can track to know if the company as a whole is on the right track, 100%. And then sub metrics for each division.
100%. And then as you build those, and then as you build a reporting system, just be careful, because it's really easy to start tracking all kinds of stuff and you get a readout of everything, and 97% of them are green. You lose, you get lost, right? So I want you to think about it like this dashboard of this beautiful Range Rover, right? It doesn't tell us the 1,000 things it's measuring every second. You don't see 1,000 things, but it's measuring 1,000 things in any given second. Okay? About this vehicle. What does it tell us? All right, well, here's a couple of key things. What's our speed right now? Point of reference, I need to know. I'm making a risk decision. How fast should I be going here? What's the speed limit? What's my risk reward? It varies, it fluctuates. What am I doing at this moment? Okay? Great. If I have fuel, if I'm an electric vehicle, whatever. What's my range? Again, do I need to plan ahead? Am I good to go? Okay, I got what I need to know. That's all I need to know at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but if the check engine light comes on or low tire pressure, yes, red flag, red. Hold on, stop what we're doing. Check engine light. I don't want anything to blow up the car. But it pulls you to the point of attention that you need to be giving in that second. Your reporting system needs to become the dashboard of your car.
Yeah.
The 98% that are green, don't show me.
That's the first thing I noticed with Kent as well. I mean, they are even just the meeting that we had the other day, Ken. What are the defined metrics that we were looking at to where we can track if we're on the right path?
Right.
Yeah, because he's right. In fact, they call that in business the KPI dashboard.
Right.
Key performance indicators. In this case, it's fuel and speed limit, those kind of things. But you're right. You have to bring it all the way down. And that's actually really hard because not everyone agrees on what it is.
Yeah.
Right?
That's 100%.
Yeah, so which is fine. Everybody should have a voice, but everyone should agree on it. And then once they do, then it's hard data, and everything moves toward it.
Well, and let me be clear. Well, I may need to get who's on here, but I do have a birthday dinner I got to get to.
It's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't have to be there till 6, but it is down in Chandler. But
good point.
But here's the deal on that though. All the KPIs get measured. When I had ops reviews for a department, yeah, we all those things you think are important to your group and doing your job. Go ahead, give me the readout on all that stuff. But when executive team is meeting, I only want to hear the shit that is coming up on the screen for your department. I don't want to hear about all of it. Just tell me. So I had a thing. I want one standard deviation better than expectations or one standard deviation worse. So by the way, if they don't know statistics, teach them standard deviations. But one on each side, that's all we should be talking about. Because the one below expectations, everybody is going to help solve that fucking problem. One better, what can we do? How do I scale that? Can I take it somewhere else and do it more faster?
That's
So
brilliant.
solve the down and enhance the up.
Sounding boards and visors and the guys who would tell me shit I had to hear, not what I wanted to hear. Woo.
Well, you went
through a lot
private,
together, baby.
public, private.
Yeah.
Private, public, private.
Yeah.
Kenny was telling me when you started,
Yep.
what you did is you posted your social security.
I did.
So I'm sure that you knew that was a great marketing tactic, but I'd like to know your rationale as to what you were thinking of.
So my thought was, there's a author named Seth Godin who wrote a book called The Purple Cow about marketing. And he talks about when he and his kids, the very first time he took his kids on a family vacation, they were leaving New York, and as they drive out away from the city, you get by all these farms and they see these cows, his kids freak out. They're like, oh look, oh my god, look, a cow. And they go crazy the first time they see a cow, right? And then they drive by and they go, oh look, more cows there. Yeah. And they said by the third one, they're like, hey, look, more cows. And by about the fifth or sixth one, they're like, whatever. And he goes, that was interesting. Now the only thing that would get their attention is if they saw a purple cow. And so he's like, what do you do to be the purple cow? There's all these marketing messages. We're bombarded by it every day. How do you put in front of consumers the purple cow to break through? So I'm doing live television, a lot of PR because it's inexpensive. In fact, typically it's free. And it's more credible as an early stage company because when someone sees you on the news, they're like, oh shit, that must be big time.
Yeah.
They don't know that, well, there's really only 4 of us in the whole damn company, but they put on there, hey, this is Todd Davis, CEO of LifeLock, and they're like, never heard of them, but must be big, they're on the news. And so I'd tell the story, well, I was going to be on CNBC, and I'm literally thinking, how do I get as many people to pick up the damn phone and call to sign up? I need to make payroll. And it hits me. I'll do what they say don't do. I'll give out my social.
Do what they don't do.
Do what they say don't do. By doing what they tell you not to do, they're always saying, hide it, don't tell anybody, keep it a secret. By giving it, people are like, what the hell is he doing? And I jokingly say that 50% of people thought I was brilliant and 50% thought I was crazy. We still don't know which half was right, but it worked out great.
What you guys just saw was the most incredible conversations I've had. That was today. That was Todd Davis, the founder of LifeLock, and my buddy Ken McElroy. Today I got to follow him around all day. That is just a small piece of what was going on today. We did so much stuff. I've learned more today than I have in the past 3 months. And I've learned so much in the past 3 months of doing these videos. My head is spinning with how many things I learned today. I could do 50 videos on it, but I'm honestly dead. My brain is no longer functioning. I absorbed so much information today. My brain is just like complete fuzz now. I know the audio might have been pretty tough on that video, but you were going to hear some things that are so counterintuitive to what these business gurus on YouTube, TikTok say. Why? Because they run massive businesses, and sometimes practices that are perfect, quote unquote, in theory, they don't work as good in reality for different subjects. So you may think, oh, this person who runs a business on YouTube or TikTok, when in reality, they got big on social media and then they started a business around it. And they're just reading you quotes from books. Sometimes the real world and the real business is not the same. It is just simply not. One of the main takeaways is Todd was not hyper-focused on optimization of everything a part of his company. He said, if anybody comes to me with optimization one more time, you're getting fired. That is not the goal right now, because he foresaw things in the future that would destroy them if they just focused on optimization. And they had a good thing running. He said, we will optimize in the future. They got 1 million monthly subscribers on LifeLock in 1 year. That is unheard of. And he said the average retention of customers was over 10 years. Just to put that in perspective, for a monthly subscription service, the average average livelihood from businesses that I've worked with in the past is sometimes 3 months. So this guy built a product that people needed. And then you know what he said? He said, when you build a product so good, people say it was obvious. He said, yeah, people would always tell me, yeah, well, you were in the right place at the right time. That's an easy business to think of. Cybersecurity for your identity. It wasn't at the time. That's the goal, to build a business that helps so many people that people call it obvious afterwards. And that's what he did. And he's probably going to do something like that again soon. He was telling me about some of his future plans. If I honestly will probably be watching this video at least once a month. There was so many snippets in there. If you are a business owner, you will realize it was beyond wisdom. It was him talking about real practice stuff. That is where the edge is. I'm telling you guys, watch that video again. It was more powerful than I think a lot of people realized the first time. And I know the audio was fucked up. It's so valuable that it's worth it. Trust me. This guy literally sold his business for like $2.6 billion. He's made hundreds of people rich. Trust me when I say this. I don't say this lightly, because I don't care if people are watching these videos. I genuinely don't. I am saying this if you are really, really interested in scaling a business. Once you start one, you will realize how valuable that information is. You'll realize it more the bigger you get. That's just one of the lessons I learned today. I'm so glad I got that on video. And parts of the videos were scattered along because guess where we were? We were at the Phoenix Open behind the scenes. That was their YPO group. Kenny, Todd, and the other guys in that video that I didn't yet show talking. YPO is Young Presidents Organization or something along those lines. It's a group of people that I think are making, to join, I think you have to be doing over $10 million a year in revenue for your business and then have over 200 employees. So Kenny's obviously part of it. Todd is a part of it. And then all the other guys were in the same space. And one of them is running the Phoenix Open, or part of running the Phoenix Open. So we got to be behind the scenes going through all that stuff. The thumbnail picture is us on that 16th hole, which if you don't care about golf, great. I don't either. But if you do, that's a pretty damn special thing to be doing. And I can understand that just from a pretty cool perspective. So today was remarkable. And I can't stress this enough. Once you start a business, or once you start to scale, come back and rewatch this video and you will start to understand how valuable that what you just watched was. Goodbye.